This sailor joins the U.S. Navy thinking that they are going to be the next Navy SEAL, the $1 million man out there, but it turns out his shipmates don't have his back as he fails out of the pipeline and ends up in the regular Navy that he never expected to be in. This has been noted from the whatever, phone home Richard that we've seen out there that was on fire for 5 days. Now, big Navy and government officials, everybody is looking for some fingers to blame and who to point them at specifically, because this is a problem that seems to have been occurred from the E nothing all the way up to the O somethings. And there is a lot of blame that could be passed along. But that is something that is noteworthy because it looks like Seaman Apprentice Ryan Sawyer Mays has been the face of this entire investigation as a lowly E2, as a great motive of saying he's not very much liked. He was not a person that was very content being in the Navy after he failed out of basic underwater demolition school over in Coronado, California, now being forced as an undesignated seaman chipping paint, doing some of the most manual and laborious tasks that are out there. Now, everybody does deserve their day in court, and I don't want to project doubt or anything like that. Is this guy really the guy that we're going to pin this on? More details about what accounts have taken place from witnesses have shown that maybe the water is more murky than you think, but it is a matter of what can be proven in court. San Diego, an electrical engineer who examined the amphibious assault ship Bonhomme Richard, whatever, after it was destroyed by fire last year, testified Wednesday that it might have started with an electrical malfunction rather than arson. Andrew Thornton was hired by the defense attorneys representing the junior sailor accused of setting the fire aboard the ship. He told a military court during a preliminary hearing that he found highly combustible lithium-ion batteries with their caps blown off and a copper cable with a melted end in the engine of a forklift, indicating it might have sparked the fire. Now, I know a lot of you guys have not been on a Navy warship to understand there is a lot of things that are combustible, especially to include the period of maintenance that this ship was going under, which could disrupt things, could make other items and other materials around that might be flammable. The expert goes on to say they cannot be eliminated as a source of the fire, says Thornton, who has examined 3,000 fire scenes as a forensic electrical engineer. Both the batteries and forklift were inside the lower vehicle storage area of the warship, where the military fire investigator determined the July 12, 2020 fire was started by someone who ignited cardboard boxes stored there. The testimony came in a military court hearing to determine whether there is enough evidence for Ryan Sawyer Mays to face a military trial. Now, it does look like this Seaman Mays is being charged with arson in this circumstance. The article says defense attorneys have argued there is no physical evidence tying Mays to the crime. Much of the case relies on sailors' accounts of that morning. And it says a key witness for the Navy testified he is certain he saw Mays in the area where the flames ignited. And others says the suspect mumbled, quotations, "I'm guilty," on the way to the brig after being taken into custody. Petty Officer 3rd Class Kenji Velasco said the person he reported seeing go down to the lower vehicle area before the fire started was wearing blue work coveralls. Other sailors said they saw him in a green camouflage uniform of the day. Petty Officer 2nd Class Matthew Betts testified Wednesday that Velasco initially told him he did not recognize the person he saw go down below before the fire, but Betts told the court he considered Velasco to be, quotations, really truthful and found Mays would lie. Betts said Mays told him he had to drop out of SEAL training because he got injured during the program's quotations Hell Week, which is the most grueling part that comes at the end of the weeks-long training. Mays actually dropped out voluntarily after 5 days. So I will say there are other articles that have said that there are no signs of Mays' DNA even being in this location. Now, it is known also that in the community of buds drops, people that don't make it through Navy SEAL training, a lot of them kind of blur what happened. And I will say, out of my almost 14 years of service that were going on, I've heard many stories. Medical conditions, grandmother got sick, they kicked him out, whatever it is, right? A lot of people don't want to say that they quit. I would not want to be known as going down as a quitter either, but I want to give the same perspective of it's okay. You tried out for the top 1% of the 1% of everything. Most of the people going there are going to fail, and that's understood, and people will go back for maybe a second or third time before they even pass. Now, they can't say that their key witness here is a person that is trustworthy, but that is subjective. Again, how can you paint that picture in the court of law? It's going to be hard to tie this sailor to this specific location other than motive of him being disgruntled and being equally disliked by everybody on the ship, and not having any way to tie them other than this murky water. They believed it was him, and no one can actually correlate even the uniform he was wearing when there is a 50-50 shot. It goes on to say, one thing that sailors have been consistent about in their testimonies is that Mays was not liked by many on the ship and did not want to be there. Betts told investigators Mays was, quotation, selfish, whiny, and mad because he dropped out of the SEALs. The person escorting Mays said that escorting him to the brig on the August 20th day testified that she heard a stunned Mays mumble to himself, "I'm guilty, I guess I did it." Then she said he mumbled some more before she heard him say it had to be done. Defense attorney said he was joking and speaking sarcastically after being surprised that he was being locked up. The defense has challenged several of the government's witnesses about their accounts given to investigators a year ago after several of them, including Velasco, recalled details differently or not at all during the hearing. Now, let's put Mays in this picture. A kid that's probably not been in serious trouble. I'm not trying to paint him in a glorious light because obviously it sounds like he was a headache for the crew consistently across the board. But never been in trouble, doesn't understand the magnitude of this ship burning down. He's going to make jokes about it. I've got junior people I've worked with that have made dumb jokes at times that were very inappropriate, and not a good time. Not a great time to be a sarcastic, Mays, if that is where the truth is at. On top of that, they're saying that there were government contractors that were working on the ship that were going to be able to come and go as they please, not really tracked. There are about 12,000 of them, and it was notoriously known that these contractors would break the rules and smoke on that ship. They would also notoriously be known to poop, pee in random places. People are saying that this might just be the cover story to cover the brass that is at the top of military leadership, and saying that essentially this is a distraction from trying to hold accountability at the top of the ranks. Eden Abreu says, "Oh, the Navy having faulty, unmaintained equipment that causes serious problems? What? And then using junior enlisted as a scapegoat so the chain of command in charge of making sure electrical fires don't happen get away scot-free? Wow, never happens ever in the Navy." Doug Larson says the brass wants to hold someone accountable even if he's not guilty. I hope it becomes absolutely clear beyond doubt. If he's guilty, I hope the evidence is sufficient beyond doubt. Merely being in an area and being disgruntled are insufficient. Looks like there might be some accountability that is being held as Admiral's Mass is being conducted over the past couple days, it looks like. And it says U.S. Pacific Fleet Commanding Officer Admiral Samuel Paparo held Admiral's Mass disciplinary hearings that will continue into Friday, according to PAC Fleet spokesman Commander Rebecca Rabarik. 36 Navy officials, including 5 admirals, face potential discipline over a failure to stop the inferno. Now, a lot of you guys are like, bravo, we're probably going to see accountability. We're going to see people made an example that should be made an example that had flaws in the way that they led. But this statement goes further to kind of blur the lines even more. Spokeswoman says Rabarik declined to say who is going before Admiral's Mass this week and said the Navy is deciding which disciplinary actions will be made public. A lot of people are going to be very upset about this, and that is because there have been sentiments that have been posted across social media here that is showing across Facebook that people are wanting transparency. People are wanting to see who this is. And I want to give a fair assessment when I say there are court-martials that are posted publicly every single month where if someone is found guilty, they are posted for the public to see. And as much as I hate to be that Joe Navy guy, I have to rely back on to my bearing of what I came into the military with and say, let's go back to the core of what we do as a U.S. Navy, as a U.S. Navy sailor, and stuff that we are relied upon to uphold every single time. Honor, courage, commitment. Lame, got it. Okay, moving on. But even specifically addressing these kinds of issues is the Sailor's Creed. What is given to every person as they are expected to join the military, or join the Navy specifically, and remember, speak verbatim when they go to boot camp, when they're going into their first A school experience, when they go to their first command. I proudly serve my country's Navy combat team with honor, courage, and commitment. I'm committed to excellence and the fair treatment of all. I hate to say this, but it's written in blue and gold. I would like to know, what do you guys think about this situation as we're seeing it unfold? There's no real hard evidence other than testimonies that have been released where people have been wishy-washy and they're not entirely sure the uniform, what exact person was actually there, because they've said one time they weren't sure, the next time they said they were sure. And what do you think should be moving forward with this Admiral's mask that seems to be kind of muddying the waters here that people are not too happy about? Let me know down in the comments below. If you guys like what we do on this channel, you can always support over at patreon.com for special perks and benefits. On top of that, you can support over at YouTube join button below this video for special perks and benefits here on YouTube. Also, if you guys like this video, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to push this video out. We'd appreciate it. If you guys have questions about this or anything else, you can always hit me up on Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, or down in the comments below. I love you guys. I'll see you next time.